Hi, I'm Shikamaru Nara. Welcome to the podcast. I know it's going to be a drag, all this interesting stuff that we're going to learn today, but you're going to have to bear through it because it's fun. There you go. Enjoy. Whatever.
Interview. Thank you so much for accepting to come back again.
Thank you.
No,
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. It's a great honor again. It's just again, like I've said to everybody interview, but like the fact that I can sit down and talk to voices I grew up with, like yours or anybody. I interviewed Tom Gibis, Brian Donovan, Steve Stilley, James C. Burns, and then Michael Yershak. The last one I did was last year, and then of course you. Again, it's just I still can't grasp around my head that I'm able to do that, and like that YouTube and TikTok, as a performance allow me to do that, honestly, and having an audience for that, it's always a, a great thing. Also, from last time I upgraded, like last time I was on the phone, I actually have a computer, which is a lot better too. I know last time was like I was recording on the phone, that was just not the best, whatever. So I don't think you need any introduction, but maybe Rico, if you want to choose yourself to who you are, in case you don't know who you are, because you've done so many iconic roles during like the last, I think, like 25 years of your career. I think 20 years. So if you want to go ahead and tell who you are.
Yeah. I'm Kyle Hebert. Hi guys. If you don't know who I am, you probably know the things I've worked on. So I am best known as adult Gohan from Dragon Ball Z and Super, and most recently Superhero from last summer, where Gohan got a much needed upgrade. Very happy about that.
Yes, that was amazing. I love that.
Oh
movie.
yeah.
I saw the
Yeah.
teaser. Oh.
Gohan's great again.
Yes. Yeah.
And I took over as the narrator and Ox King on Z. And other highlights of the career are Kiba and Naruto, Aizen in Bleach, Ryu in Street Fighter. I'm Fat Gum in My Hero Academia, and Escanor in Seven Deadly Sins.
Yes. I recently played Street Fighter 6, and holy shit. I don't want to say if it's the best of the series, but I really, really enjoy those games, honestly. I'm not usually like a big fan of a 2D like arena fights. Like Mortal Kombat, I like it, but I race too fast to those kind of games. But Street Fighter 6, when I heard about it, and I was like, okay, I saw they did that's last summer, they did like the tech demo, whatever, like they show us some gameplay last whatever. And then of course you came by as Ryu, and you also, of course, did a good job for that again. But no, I really enjoyed Street Fighter 6, like good story and everything. Yeah. Also, Gumball from My Hero. Yeah, I forgot that you did that too. Yeah, because I don't think you mentioned last time. I don't think you mentioned that, and I forgot that you did My Hero too, which is of course a big anime with a lot of fans around the world. Let me start asking you this question. Like, of all the anime that you voices, like that you play in, what do you think, in your personal opinion, has the best fan base?
What do I think is the what?
The best fan base of everything you've been in, like when it comes to anime.
Well, certainly the longest and definitely passionate are the Dragon Ball fans. I have been a part of that world for 23 years professionally, and then like another 5 years before that as a fan. When Dragon Ball Z first came to America, it was part of a Canadian English dub done out of Vancouver, and then it moved to Texas with what was then Funimation, is now Crunchyroll.
Yeah, for sure.
And I joined that cast in Texas, and that's where I lived at the time, in Dallas. And I've seen passion from so many fans on so many properties. My Hero's one of them, Bleach and Naruto, through the years. And then now I'm seeing families introducing their kids, and vice versa, kids introducing their parents to anime. And it's really, really cool to see that dynamic play on the con scene and the fandom just overall. So I think you're gonna find hardcore people that are fans of anything, honestly, in this world, whether it's an artistic, a creative endeavor, or whatever drives their soul, their passions, their professions and such. So I don't think it's necessarily down to any one group, like who is better, who is more passionate, because you see it all over the place.
Yeah.
I like to think that Star Wars fans are extremely passionate. And if
Yeah.
passionate means you're nitpicking things about the Disney Plus series or the last trilogy or the prequels and all
Yeah.
that, I think it comes from a place of love because
Yeah.
I know I've been a Star Wars fan since the original Star Wars in 1977. I saw it in the theater because I'm that old. But I've seen the generational changes in how
Yeah.
view the prequels versus us really old school folks. And when the prequels is like, that's too kiddie or it's too,
Yeah.
but you guys grew up on the prequels. So
Yeah,
you
I did.
think a
Yeah.
different way. And watching things like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter and seeing that fandom flourish and everything. It's like
Yeah.
that's kind of like Star Wars for you guys.
Yeah, our Potter definitely has a huge audience around the world, of course, after J.K. Rowling wrote the books. Yeah, the thing with Star Wars, yeah, the first Star Wars I seen was Revenge of the Sith, which I know is a weird like thing to start. I was like, actually, the first movie I saw in theaters, I was 4 years old in 2005. Was Revenge of the Sith. First movie I ever saw in theaters. I remember my dad brought me when I was 4, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was probably one of the first movie I seen in my life, to be honest. And my dad was born in 77, the year that Star Wars came out. So he grew up, in the 80s being a huge fan, with the VHS. For you kids that don't know what VHS is, it's a little cassette you put it. I don't know if CDs, VHS. Or I know most kids they don't know what VHS are. It's a little cassette, little big cassette you put in, and but yeah, and yeah, and I don't know. Again, I'm not a big fan of the sequels personally. I think the one good thing that Star Wars did with Disney after we told last time was Mandalorian. That was just amazing. And most recently, I personally really enjoyed it was Ahsoka. I don't know if you've seen it yourself.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni is, especially episode 5. No spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but the Clone Wars flashback in episode 5. I know it's fan service, but I'm a fan. I like to get served. I couldn't complain seeing the Clone Wars in live action. Any Christian back as Anakin, which I can't complain. Bro, that was a thrill and a ride. Like I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Honestly, when I saw Andy back as Anakin, I was just like, I feel like a kid again. Honestly, when I saw that, then
yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, the generational thing. When I see TikTok people and it shows like people around your age and they show their real-time reactions to what's happening on things like Ahsoka, and they're like, yes, oh my god, it's so and so from Clone Wars. And it's like I missed out on the Clone Wars hype.
Yeah.
I became too busy and everything. Now because it's been portrayed in live action, now I have a vested interest in, like, now I want to check it out. I want to see what actually happened, see it play out, not just alluded to, because I know some people have complained about Ahsoka saying, oh, it's really like the last season of Rebels, but what if you haven't watched Rebels? Or
true.
it's all very confusing.
Yeah, true. And also, I hope you watch it, because that was another thrill. Well, Loki ended on Thursday, and if have you seen season 2 of Loki? Because oh my god, this was. Have you seen it or not?
Nah. Season 2, I have not. I need to binge that.
You like no spoilers, of course, but the way that season 2 ends, I'm gonna say this right now. I think Loki's become the best character in the MCU after the season 2. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I forgot who wrote the season, but Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson together, man, that duo was just Marvel know how to cast a character very good. You can say that, like, every time they cast somebody, it's always 99% of the time it's perfect. And Owen Wilson as Morbius, what again? You can't go over Owen Wilson, of course. Classic.
Right.
No. But trust me, if you want to bench that, you won't be disappointed. Like, season 2 of Loki was a masterpiece. And then I saw the Marvels last night. That was a little disappointment in my opinion. No spoilers again, but I don't even know. Fun fact, also had the lowest opening ever at only $22 million on a Friday night, which is kind of very low for an MCU movie. Like, we'll see where that goes. I didn't enjoy it personally.
I see. I think overall the quality has gone down in the newer phase ever since
100%.
If Marvel just ended with Endgame, that would have been the perfect way to cap the series. But I understand it's business; they want to make more money. There are more stories to adapt. That's true.
Yeah, like No Way Home that made $1.9 billion. I mean, No Way Home was good, but when
Yeah.
$1.9 million, Sony was like, that's the money's coming now. And again, you're right. The content has gone down. They've done some good stuff, like Loki Cinema was good, Cinema was good. No Way Home was good. They've done some good thing, but a lot of their projects, like Love and Thunder, a lot of them has been really like downhill in my opinion. It's just like and Hawkeye was horrible. She-Hulk too. Like those shows, they're here. I'm a fan. I still enjoy them, but I'm not gonna say they're good. They're bad, but I still enjoy it as a fan. I can say like with Star Wars, even though the sequels were bad, I still enjoy it as a fan. But I'm not gonna say that saying they're good. If I don't enjoy it, but
it just seems like the slate over at Disney/Marvel is all about, we need to just give the fans everything, this whole wham. And now I think that's too much.
Yeah.
I think, growing up as a Star Wars fan in the late 70s, early 80s, you had to wait 3 whole years until the sequel. And there was no internet, no anything.
All right, well, I guess we have a special guest to join us today.
What
Sorry,
a drag.
I thought you might put me in another room or something, or,
Oh,
I just wanted to make sure I was here. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna be honest. I never use Zoom. I don't know how to use Zoom. I usually don't really use Zoom that much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have the special guest today. For returning back on the channel for the second time, please welcome Mr. Tom Gibis, of course, the voice actor of Shikamaru from Naruto. Which is always an amazing performance. Thank you so much for sending the invite for the second time on the channel. It's always a pleasure to see you. Honestly, you're a great person. It's funny because I'm having you. I tried to ask Brian Donovan to come. He couldn't come, but he wanted to say hi. He wanted to say hi to you both.
Yeah.
Of course, Rock Lee from Naruto.
He didn't want to come.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know if this is personal, but like on last night, he was like, I need to talk to my wife. I'm like, okay. And they texted me when they said that I can't come. I was like, okay. And he talked to his wife, he talked to the wife, he couldn't come. I was like, all right, you can't come, it's fine. Well, yeah, thank you for being here. Now you're both here. The first question I want to ask you both, you can both answer together. You were both, of course, on Naruto, of course, Kiba and Shikamaru. And I think one of the most important arc in that entire series, especially in part one Naruto, was the Sasuke Ritual arc. Now, I separately asked you both about this when I first interviewed individually, but I want to ask you both, now you're both here, what did you think as you were recording, as you were filming those scenes for the Sasuke Ritual arc, when Sasuke went to the darkness, and you formed that entire group of Shikamaru?
So our first mission, like to rescue Sasuke, that mission?
Yeah, like when it was you, Kiba, Neji, Naruto, and Choji.
Yeah.
What did you like? How do you approach that? Because it was such like an important arc, and it ended. Biscuit ended like Power Naruto. Afterwards, there was mostly fillers. But like, how did you approach that entire arc? Because again, that was a big arc at the time.
Well, you don't get to. I mean, unless you're reading the manga, you don't get to read ahead. They have the scripts there for you. At that time, there were these big 3-ring binders, and they'd say, go to episode whatever it was, open to page blah blah blah, and then you start doing your lines. But what I liked about that whole arc was this was sort of our journey into being men. It was the first time that we kind of went on. It was Shikamaru's first mission as a leader. It was a little test of how well we would all get along. As I remember, Kiba, there was some pushback, because he didn't want to respect Shikamaru as the leader, because he saw them as an equal before that. Now he's the boss of me, forget it. You know what I mean? But I think that whole arc, what was great about that is we could see how it was trial by fire and how they kind of worked it out amongst themselves, that sort of interpersonal communication. And they realized, okay, everybody's got a strength, and, here, and Shikamaru is the leader, but it's not like, I think they learned to accept that somebody's got to lead, right? And in this case, he was the one unfortunately put in charge, because they lost that mission. Spoiler alert, they failed at that mission. A lot of people got hurt. Choji got majorly hurt and ended up in the hospital. We thought he was going to die. So, but I think it really is that arc is them becoming men. They're not any little boys anymore. The stakes are real, and failure is was an option. Like, you know, up to that point, it was all like Naruto wins every battle, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At this point, we went, oh, bad things can happen, and you can lose, and you have to learn how to learn from your mistakes and grow. And that arc itself was a big lesson for everybody. But as far as our participation in it, we got it the day we showed up to the studio. And we kind of worked through it bit by bit, and it may have been 2, 3, maybe 4 sessions to do that arc, which, because sometimes they'll just have you do 4 or 5 episodes in one session, so it might have been the whole thing for everybody, but yeah, we did get a lot of chance to prepare. So the beauty of that is that I think that speaks to a little bit of how good of actors we have on the show, in that we're dealing with some major sort of character shifts and arcs, and we're doing it on the fly. And I think not everybody can do that successfully. So
it takes a particular set of skills.
Yes, it does. I say this a lot when people ask, you know, what's a good skill to have for voiceover? Improv. You know, that idea of being able to take something, make a decision, make a strong choice, and, you know, and play it out. If you've got a job, they'll direct you a little bit more into that. If you don't have the job, you won't get it. You know, you're in a way, you're doing a little bit of mind reading, or you're trying to take what's on the page and make it real. And the people that can do that really fast, I think, are very successful in this industry.
Yeah, and we're also got to give props to having a great director. Miss Mary Elizabeth McGlynn directed a good majority of Naruto, and she loved it. She treated it like her own kid. You know, she was so passionate about it. So we're coming in cold. We have to basically do cold reading, but she starts the session by telling us the gist of the set of episodes we're doing and the context, so we know how big or small to make the emotions and the instincts of the characters. And we're previewing each line in Japanese and so forth. And yeah, with Kiba is arrogant. He thinks he's got what it takes to be Hokage and all that. But from my perspectives, he would not be a good choice.
Hokage. He is Hokage now in the manga of Boruto.
Shikamaru is, yeah.
It's becoming
wow.
But I think in that episode, Naruto wasn't listening to Shikamaru. Kiba wasn't. I think Choji was the only one that was like, yeah, I don't know if this is a great idea, man, but I'll stick with you just because you're my friend. But they all, Neji was kind of doing his own thing. So like, that was a little thing of, we need to work together, and of course we failed. But in the end, though, we did work together and we figured it out. It's just, it was a trial by fire. So I think that was the beauty of those episodes, is you see the wheels turn and you go, okay, that's why this guy's in charge. That's why, you know, it all worked out the way it was supposed to work out. So in the end.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, like the way also, like, I think like this is the first time with Shikamaru, especially when he says, Sasuke, yes, he's doing the garden, but he's also a comrade, or he realizes how important his mission is too, as soon as he does the speech before they go leave the Lee village.
That's right. I don't like Sasuke very much. In fact,
yeah.
It's like, but he's a member of the Hidden Leaf Village, and we're gonna go get him. Yeah.
I want to talk really quick about it, because I know I sent it to you on Instagram when it happened. But yeah, Shikamaru has obviously become the Hokage after Naruto in the Boruto, I think 2 Blue Vortex, I don't know what it's called.
That's correct.
The 8 Hokage. What did you think when you saw this? Because the character you watched for so long has now become the 8 Hokage after Naruto. Like, what was your first thought when you saw it? Because I mean, like, you'll eventually be voicing him as the Hokage.
It's just a character. It's just a show. But I was kind of like, yeah. And I kind of thought, well, that's kind of a big deal. And then nobody else really seems to think that's too big of a deal. So I just hope they don't screw him up. I hope they don't make him, sort of, because there's other characters that have to develop. And I just hope they don't use Shikamaru to do that. I hope they don't. I think right now he's a great character. He's been really well developed. And then the good news is the creator of the show one of his favorite characters is Shikamaru. So I hope he thinks of him the way I think of him, and I hope he doesn't screw him up too much. So make him the bad guy, or like Danzo, kind of just a sniveling, I did it for the village, even though he made a lot of really bad choices, so.
Yeah, I think he's one of those characters you never like. I think both your characters, you never know what the hell they're gonna do. They're always up to something. Honestly, both your characters, like they're just Kiba can be literally come around, and your character can always be like very lazy, or very very like energetic. You never know like what those characters are gonna be up to. Honestly,
And Kiba's still around, and the dog Akamaru, is that right? Am I saying it right?
He's
Akamaru?
very old. Yeah,
Akamaru.
he's very old now. Yeah, I don't
He's
think he
old.
appears anymore. But
I hope we don't have a dead dog situation.
No,
There's
far,
nothing worse than killing a dog or an animal that you
True.
love in a show. I
True.
mean, you think people cried when Asuma died or when Jiraiya died. You kill that dog, people are going to be having go to therapy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no.
There's going to be a riot. I think the worst thing to happen to Kiba is that he has a receding hairline. He's just
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, but Kyle, you've proven that works. You can have that.
I know. I don't know if he has the right head for it, though, Thank you. I'm glad I pull it off.
Yeah.
I want to see this, Kyle. So now that you know that he's the 8 Hokage, between all the Hokage 11, so all the original teams that you had, like so Kiba's team, Shikamaru's team, Naruto's team, Rock Lee's team, and I think that's it. Yeah, current 11. Who do you think would be the best Hokage outside of Naruto and Shikamaru? Maybe you would think would be the best Hokage outside of the Konoha 11, the classic.
Left, but we've had Hokage who've done it that have given it up, and like Kakashi and stuff. So
that's true.
Can you pull those guys
multiple
back
choice?
in,
what are my options?
You got a lot of people to pull from there. Kyle.
So your entire team. So Kiba, Hinata, and Shino. Then you have Ino and Shoji, and then you have Sakura and Sasuke, and then Rock Lee, Ten, and Neji is kind of dead, so I don't think we can. Well, I mean, you can still pick him, but yeah.
Hey, I think Rock Lee has a lot of spunk. He's got a lot of personality, and so does Mike Guy. But I mean, honestly,
yeah.
I mean, to rock the Beatles haircut. I mean, come on.
Rock Lee has a strict moral code. Like, as far as the most uncorruptible, I would say would probably be Rock Lee. I mean, his moral code is clear. He is, although that can get you in trouble too when you can't bend or shift or
True.
lie.
Yeah, because I don't see Rock Lee doing like hard decisions, to be honest. I don't think he'll be able to like choose between like hard decision like fast. Maybe not. I think he will be like he won't betray his village ever. He's that, but like I don't think like Shikamaru will be able to Rockies will be able to like make like quick like hard decision, in my opinion, because maybe he's not too I think that's why Shikamaru would is a great Hokage, because he was the Hokage aide for years, and Kakashi's in Naruto, and then I think him becoming the Hokage is a good thing. I think Sakura will be a good Hokage, after Tsunade, she's basically like Tsunade 2.0, just stronger than Tsunade. I don't know if she would be the best leader, but she definitely has like the maturity of becoming.
Well, she's got a big heart too.
Yeah,
I think it's something could be good as a Hokage. I think sometimes being too smart, like Shikamaru, can be a bad thing.
Yeah, because you overthink exactly. Yeah. Now I went on YouTube and I wanted to show you both of my favorite scenes from your characters from Naruto really quick, and show you. So we're gonna show the screen really quick. First off is gonna be Kiba, your favorite scene from from Kiba. So let me just share my screen. This share with audio, and no, that's not my favorite scene. My favorite scene, it's a funny one, to be honest. So I don't know if you guys can see it. There we go. All right, so this is my favorite scene from Kiba.
It sure seems like you could use it. You're getting on my nerves, Kiba. I told you I'm going to be fine. You totally overused your Byakugan and could barely stand up. You don't need to try and show off in front of your subordinates. Just shut up, Kiba! What the hell? You can't tell the difference between a dog and a man? Your visual prowess is supposed to be your specialty!
I don't know. I really like that. I don't know why. I really like that, to be honest. And that's one of those scenes. Like, I don't know. Like, so do you remember recording? I know you record a lot of lines, but like, do you remember recording this, or would that
No, I
has?
actually don't, because we don't get to keep the scripts. We don't get
Yeah,
free
of
copies
course.
of the
Yeah,
episodes to watch later.
yeah,
And first world problem. We're busy recording our next project and everything.
yeah.
So that's why we have to come back and listen to a reference that's like, what did I
Okay,
sound
yeah.
like again? But
And then
yeah, there were a lot of great things, and we always have funny banter back and forth with our directors, whether it's Mary Elizabeth or
yeah,
whoever might be substituting or
yeah,
whatnot. So
yeah,
it's always a blast, whether
yeah.
my character's doing something silly or not.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and of course, Elizabeth also does Tsunade on the show, of course, people have some weird thoughts about that Tsunade when it comes to the fandom of Naruto. People are have their opinions. And my first Shikamaru scene, I think I told you last time, Tom Gibis, but this scene, this was the first time that I remember, because this probably came out like in 2010. I was really young, and this was the first time that I ever cried in front of any media ever. So this was again like the first time I remember being emotional in front of something was definitely that scene from the show. Because I feel like this is the first time. No, sorry. The second time Shikamaru crossed the show, the first time is after he realizes that Shoji and Neji have survived after the Sasuke arc, and so they said they would be fine. But that scene, like I showed my girlfriend the Naruto, and of course she cried when Jiraiya died. Of course, but like she cried too in that scene. Like just seeing, because it's like a caution to Shikamaru. Like those two characters are always acting cool. Always, or I like you always don't care. I know you mentioned last time, Tom, that yeah, Shikamaru does care, but I think that's the first scene in the show that you really feel genuinely bad for Shikamaru, because like after like the talk he has with his dad and everything, but like just like little old Al, which the one thing that got me. I remember as a kid, like just I don't know why it got me for it, but also got my girlfriend too. She cried too, but yeah.
Yeah, that let it out and I'll pick up the pieces is, literal and figurative, because he threw the chess pieces or the shogi pieces out.
Yeah.
It's good. And that's Lex Lang, by the way, who played, I believe, I'm not 99% sure Lex Lang was the father in that.
Yes, he also
And
did
he was
Ayate,
also ramen guy.
ramen guy, and Ayate from like the first couple of seasons. That the one I was always coughing there during shooting exam.
Yeah.
He also does that. Oh yeah, I forgot he does your dad. True, yeah.
And so, and the other thing is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is a filler episode.
No, that is not a filler. That is in the manga.
Because I thought the animation was different. That was like an added, because he already kind of had, well, doesn't matter. But I was under the impression that was one of the fillers. If you look how beautiful they spent a lot more time on the beautiful artwork that's in the household there, and the wisp of the candle and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I had thought the scene with Asuma dying, that was like the big emotional scene.
Yeah.
And then I thought that this episode was like a recap, like a filler episode to fill in, because they hadn't gotten to the manga. My only point with that is, people bag on the filler scenes, and a lot of times they take a lot more time and make them look very beautiful, because
they're not
they're waiting to catch up with the manga, so they got to put out shows, and so they write off little side missions, or they'll explore a character's inner working. And that was one area where I thought, oh, they did a really great job with that. The other thing I will comment on that scene, the one thing I remember going in to do it was, because I cried a lot on the show, but you want it to feel authentic, because that is the easiest thing. Kyle can probably back me up on this, that it sounds fake, right? You're trying to produce this it's a surreal experience, because you're in this dark little room with a mic, and you're trying to get sort of emotional and let it out, like have sort of be in the moment. And you just go, does that sound, there's nothing worse than fake crying, like just fakey, as actors, that is a real challenge, to be very natural with it. And I listening to it again, I thought I did pretty good of making it sound like it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like it was like, that's the way people really cry. That's the way, I remember getting I would get, when I'd leave those sessions, I'd get very upset. I'd be like, why am I upset? I'd be like later in the afternoon, why am I so upset? Like, I feel like something's wrong, and then you go, oh no, you put yourself there for a minute, and that kind of throws it off. But you go through your head, like, is my wife mad at me? Did they say something? Am I gonna get fired or
Some fun-
something?
It's fun stuff for your therapist to
Yeah,
deconstruct.
exactly.
Go to your person
But-
to die. Cry after my sister died. What? Oh, sorry. I'm talking about my the show I'm voicing. You know,
Are you dealing with trauma?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just dubbing today. Oh.
But the fact that you felt the way you felt and your girlfriend felt the way she felt, I feel like I succeeded at the mission.
Yeah.
It is the weirdest thing, because you go, it's kind of embarrassing. It's sort of, you know, you got an engineer and the director, and you're there and you're doing it, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, does this sound anything close to what a normal human being would sound like in this situation?
Yeah, as you're recording, it feels weird, but when you see the final product, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that was good. Yeah.
And the music and all that stuff helps
Yeah,
too.
of
But
course, the
I'll
music
tell
does.
you, there's nothing worse if you see, even on TV, fake crying or fake,
Yeah, I've seen.
you know, even in like a
Yeah.
sitcom or something, you know, you just see somebody crying and you go, I don't believe it. You know, like it
Yeah.
just seems so,
Yeah.
you know, there's nothing worse. It can just ruin a whole scene. So thank
Yeah.
God I didn't ruin the scene. That's all I guess.
Okay, that was a good scene. Now I want to talk really quickly about Dragon Ball Superhero, because you know that was a good system and everything. I just want to ask you this. Do you ever think that you've done enough with the character of adult Gohan at this point, or do you think there's still more to be added to the character? Because you've been voicing for a long time now. Do you think you're ready to put him on a table, or do you think there's still more to do with the character, even after the superhero movie, which is
I think there's more to explore. I mean, Akira Toriyama said all those decades ago that he thought Gohan was the most powerful in the universe, in that universe. So I would want to see if this is not a one and done. You know, this power up to beast mode, is that something they're going to address in the future?
Yeah.
You know, you got Goku going Super Saiyan, fill in the blank here and that, and then Gohan just seemingly surpasses all the Super Saiyan fill in the blanks, and then wow, he's just beast mode now. So yeah, and I guess they have their work cut out for him. But now next fall they're launching Daima, which is not super continued. So
okay, yeah. Yeah,
but I
okay.
heard a rumor that the reason they're doing a different Dragon Ball story instead of continuing Super is they want the manga to continue and not
continue.
worry about
Yeah.
catching up, I guess.
Yeah.
So once they have enough to adapt and stay ahead of it, I guess.
Yeah, because I know Boruto just had that problem, because the manga of Boruto is, even like, I know English will be behind Japanese. Even Japanese is way behind the manga, and the manga is so much further than the anime in the Japanese, and I probably even more English, because I think English just caught up. I thought, if I'm mistaken, to the Biramo Naruto. If I'm not mistaken, that just came out in English recently. Because again, are you excited to voice Shikamaru as the Okage? Like, do you?
Yeah. I mean, I hope, like I said, I hope they don't screw him up.
Yeah.
You know, we've become quite friendly, he and I.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a green cape too. He has a green cape.
And I really like him, you know, so it's like, I hope, you know, it'll be like next August or September or something, when they'll have enough that we can then start recording.
Okay, so you're not having any voice to like next year. That's really like, okay,
I mean,
so they really are
finished
behind
up,
the English.
I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say or not say, but we finished up the first. Boruto's done. I'm done. I did my last session like I don't know, about a month and a half ago for Boruto.
Okay, so next will be 2 Vortex. So that will
But
be
now
2.
we're in Blue Vortex, then the manga came out, and then a lot of stuff was revealed. And but it'll be like 8 or 9 months before they start animating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the manga just started. I think there's only like 3 or 4 mangas.
I'm sure they're giving advanced copies to the animation part of it. And they're probably
of course,
already. But it's and who knows, you know, a lot can happen in a year. Especially
sounds like
in this
they want to,
industry.
with that kind of schedule, it sounds like they want to avoid fillers, because fillers is kind of a controversial thing. The fans are like, I'm out with Naruto, with Bleach. You have all this filler.
They hate it.
Yeah, and Boruto fillers, to be honest, I think like one of the reasons, and it's so sad to see, because I think like the main story of Boruto, like the canon story for the manga is 10 out of 10. It's amazing story, but the fillers that there was like one filler which I think I find was stupid. What it is
The
for
dinosaur?
20. The what?
There's a dinosaur episode.
There's a dinosaur. Sasuke's fighting a dinosaur for some reason.
Yeah.
There's an episode where Sakura's daughter is chasing a gate for 20 minutes that little girl lost. Like, I understand what fillers are, but like Naruto Shippuden has some amazing, and I mean amazing fillers at certain points. Honestly, like you both been in, and it used to Boruto like dinosaur, like for all the fillers you could choose. Sasuke fighting dinosaurs. It's like, man, it's just like Jurassic Park having a fusion with Naruto. Like, it was just confusing. And then fun fact, Sasuke only has one arm right now. He lost his arm at Shippuden. And the animation during that filler, they forgot, I think, to remove an arm because you can't see him with two arms. So I think the animator forgot to remove his his left arm he lost.
To get the arm repaired.
Yes, because he still feels guilty about what he did to the village. Yeah. So so that's I think that's a good arc for of course, your core star, your Lorenzo, which recently did the voice for Spider-Man 2, which was, I don't know if you guys, I don't think, but Spider-Man 2 was just an amazing game that of course Lorenzo does Spider-Man in this, and amazing.
Naji is in that as well as Yuri.
Yes, that is funny. Like,
we've been doing a lot of signings and stuff together. Kyle knows they're not only doing Naruto, they're doing Spider-Man, they're doing the other stuff too.
Yeah.
So
it
makes a nice little traveling road show we have.
Yeah,
that's true. But if they're gonna come back to Boruto next summer or whatever, it's like, what I hear is job security. We like that.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Now this could be a big question. You can both answer, take it, or each turn to answer, and that might be like a big question to ask you guys. When it comes to your character of Kiba and Shikamaru, what do you think is the best advice that your character is giving to another character?
Well, Shikamaru does the tough love thing. So there's that nice scene after Jiraiya dies that, Shikamaru let Naruto mourn a sufficient amount of time. And then it was he that went up to him and goes, you can't stay a kid forever. You can't sit in this dark room and cry. You got to get out there. And he's kind of rough on him. But then he takes him out like, you're going with me. We're going to get outside. We're going to, it's tough. I mean, Shikamaru is one of Naruto's best friends, but he doesn't pull any punches. He's really he's a little rough on him, but that's kind of what he needs. And so I think Shikamaru at least having the insight to know what Naruto needs at any particular moment, that might be his superpower in the show.
Right. It's like Kakashi. I think Kakashi and Shikamaru are both like cold characters. They're very blunt, what they're saying,
Very blunt. Well, that's also Japanese culture too. I think there's a little of that. They'll just come out and say it. They just this is you are misbehaving right now. So I'm going to tell you how to behave.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard love, but there is love. I feel like there's love behind it. It's not Shikamaru going, knock it off. This is annoying, even though it is to him. It's more like, this isn't good for you, and now we need to build on this, and you got to make this a strength, not a weakness. So that's kind of the beauty of the show in that way. I'll hand it over to Kyle.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Well, what's your best advice or whatever?
This is going to be a huge letdown because I don't remember Kiba ever giving advice.
He gives his opinion quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
He has a lot of thoughts about how things should be done.
Yeah, everyone's
I don't know if that's advice.
He always thinks he knows better.
That's right.
So I guess his advice is, listen to me, you bunch of screw ups.
Because even in the dream sequence that he in the end of the word in Shippuden, his dream was him being Okage. Like, that was the entire because I think each you could have one episode you had your dreams like the Infinite Tsukunomi, and yours was like, I'm an Okage now, and and I like dogs, and I have free trees and everything. You could have had a pretty funny dream during the it was literally being Okage and like getting everything once, and everybody needs a dog, and it was just was really, really like a silly gym that you could have had, to be honest. And then the resequence and then which were all fillers, which is funny because I don't know what, but like they were all every of your characters, Konoha 11 all had their own dreams. And I thought it was really interesting to see because like you can see like what each character really wants. Yes, Kiba was to become Hokage and everything. And Shikamaru, you like I think you're tired. If I'm not mistaken, I think you were pretty much like sleeping. Or you like well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the
All he wants to do is sleep.
yeah. Because I asked you both that question. Like, how do you think would be the perfect death for your characters? You answered me. He was just laid down. Look at us. Look at the
Yeah,
the class and everything. Yeah. Which I think was like that is so Shikamaru. He would just be like, oh, whatever. You just say, yeah.
That's my idea of a good time. The older you get, you'll be able to relate.
Don't wake up. No pain. You don't want any pain. Although, on this show, having you don't really want to see anybody die. But I mean,
yeah.
You get a Neji death or a Jiraiya death, like even Asuma was this. I mean, the writing's so good. Those were very earned. They weren't taking cheap shots by killing off characters. That there was all thought out. It was done in such a great way that it helps develop Naruto as a person, as the main character trying to get through this storyline because his name is that's where the writing comes out as being so good in my opinion, because it's you feel it, it's earned, it's not it's hard to explain. The way they wrote it up, it just wasn't because you can kill off major characters just for like the shock value. They don't
Walking Dead.
yeah, exactly. In this show, like it means something, and they really take time to kind of feel the moments and what they impact on the other characters.
Each character had their moment before they died too. Like Jiraiya had this moment, Asuma had this moment. Neji, I mean, he just I don't know, he just like sacrificed himself for Naruto and Hinata, so I guess he had his moment there. Jiraiya had his big battle with Pain. Asuma had his battle with Idan and Kaku. Like they all had their moment before they passed. So even the turtle Kage, this early Naruto, had his moment, sacrificing himself in the village. Like all the characters I feel like with the right Naruto is in other also anime too. But like all of the characters that passed away in that anime. I don't want to. Are you up to date with what happens in Boruto? Like, do you know what happens? Because I want to spoil both of you.
No. I mean, I know as much as the manga that's out right now, which I don't really read it, so I kind of follow. Like, I might see a synopsis come up.
Okay, because
that's about it. I don't.
There was one major death in the manga that happened like last year. I don't know if you guys know one.
In Boruto.
Yeah, in Boruto, yes. Do you know who? Do you both know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Do you know who? You don't know, Kyle? Do you want to know or you don't want to
know? No, it's cool. It's cool.
What
does your audience want to know? Because I don't want to spoil anything for them.
Well, I think most of them have seen the end. Because I mean, the episode itself was like it's one of the most viewed Boruto clip around on YouTube. So everybody's seen it.
Yeah. So it's the fox.
Yes, Kurama got killed. I mean, it's the form of chakra and the anime. And I was like you were mentioning earlier, Kyle. Like I was doing a watch party of the episodes so I was reacting to it. And holy shit, I don't think we've seen the English version of it, but I can't wait to hear Melee version of that scene. Of course, that was Naruto when Kurama like fades away, like because like I forgot in Japanese what's just for Naruto. Amazing, of course, amazing actress, but when Kurama fades away, like you can hear the pain in her voice, like it's like Kurama, and I can't wait to see Melee's take on that scene. To be honest, I think she's I can't wait to see that take on that.
That's sort of beauty of the show. I mean, those two, the whole show is that dynamic of them fighting, and then Naruto eventually coming to acceptance. With this inner demon. I mean, it's just the fact the way you say it like that, his inner demons, like a literal inner demon, and then they become friends. Like they have a weird working relationship. It's sort of like Bruce Banner and the Hulk, right? The Hulk becomes its own separate identity, and then fusing those two together. And it's it's a beautiful idea that they had fought so long, so hard.
Yeah, for 30 years, because Naruto
Push
was about
back on
30
that,
in
then
Boruto.
to finally go, we're going to work together, and this is
Yeah.
going to be good.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful thing right there. And then
Yeah.
to have it be the Nine Tails to sacrifice himself,
Yeah.
was I mean, yeah, you got to cry because it was
Yeah.
a major thing that had happened.
Because the Mikado since born, like Naruto was the day he was born, Kuro was singing. And I think Boruto was about 30. I don't. There's a funny thing in a manga. They say 30. He is 30, but in the anime they say it's 30. It's no. They say it's 10 years after the Green Ninja War. Green Ninja War Naruto was 17. So there's like, is he 27? Is he 30? There's so many. Like in the manga they say he's 30.
It's about.
And the anime they said 10 years after Ninja War that happens. So there's so many confusion on how. Anyways, yeah, he's in this. So whatever, how long Naruto's been alive, yeah. All right, Kyle. Now,
Yes.
you voiced the Nerve Dragon Ball Z for many years. Do you think that you could maybe do a little voiceover from the narrator himself, and just make out something, maybe like you were like about to do it for an episode of Dragon Ball Z, just to try to try to comment something really good. Let's test your improv, see how it is. Just like
Oh gosh.
with the
I didn't know
narrative
studying
voice.
would be a part of this interview. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, an invasion by Taylor Swift. Does she have what it takes to go Super Saiyan? Or will Gohan and Goku be able to save the universe?
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. And again, because like you said, the
Super
original.
Swifties.
Yeah, to listeners fans, yeah. Because you said the original voice actor was a Canadian, but what was his name again? You mentioned his name last time. That
Was Doc Harris.
Doc Harris, yeah, that was Canadian, and he did the original narrator, and then you took over after.
And the current narrator for the games and for Dragon Ball Z Kai and Super is Doc Morgan, who is a Dallas area DJ who I actually used to listen to when I was a kid. I've never met him, so I would love to tell him that's like, I used to listen to you on KZEW 98 FM in Dallas. And it's like, I bet his eyes would light up. And it's like, I've also worked in radio. What?
Oh, yeah. So I know that you guys have done a lot of cons. I've seen a lot on YouTube. There's a lot of clips on TikTok about you in cons and intervention, whatever. Do you remember the first time you guys met in real life? Like, because I know it was before. Was it like recently during the cons? Because I know, like, when Tom told me that he never met the actor that voiced Choji, I was very surprised. And I was sitting there, I was like, what the? It was really weird to hear. So do you remember the first time you guys met in real life?
Kyle and I did an event 2007 anime. It was down in Anaheim around the 4th of July. What's the one in California? Expo. We did an anime expo with the whole cast. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Or many of us. You and I sat next to each other because I did Shikamaru and then you did Kiba, where we were introduced like one after the other.
Oh.
And that was probably one of the first times we met. We may have seen each other coming in and out of a session before that.
But there's a good chunk of the cast that I met for the first time on that stage, either before or after, to actually have a little bit of a conversation. But that's the first time that cast of that magnitude had been together in one place, because we always record individually.
Yeah.
And then Kyle, I remember having a long, it was probably shortly after that, we were at an audition, but it was at Studiopolis, and you and I had a long talk about you from Texas and, the kind of transition and stuff like that. And I remember we talked quite a bit that day, but I think we'd already been introduced from Anime Expo. Yeah. So that was wild. And I think there's video of it on YouTube, but of course,
I think I've seen it. I think it was like in a white background. Like it's that. I know I've seen the video on YouTube.
Two or three tiers of us.
Because I know, like, for a couple of years, like Comic Cons and stuff like that, like in expos, we're taking like certain actors. I think you two were part of it, but they recently started bringing like new names. One that I interviewed last time I interviewed was Mako Yoshak, who does Toby Nobito, and also they brought Asumo, which is Doc. I forgot his second name.
Doug Erholtz.
Dark also does. Also, they kind of bring more names into it. I think they also one that I never seen, and I know I seen in one intervention is Kakashi Sensei. I forgot the name of the actor that voices amazing
Dave
voice actor.
Wittenberg, but he's
Dave
been going
Wittenberg.
out.
He
So
because he
basically,
hasn't done it in a long time. Like nobody's like really heard of the guy, and he was wearing a mask. I think you two were there, if I'm not mistaken. I know Tom was out. I think you were the Tukal, and it was like I've never seen him out of
Pasadena. I think last year Pasadena was
Yeah.
one of the first ones. He had not done it in a long time. So when you look at cons, you got to look at pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
Yeah,
And
fair enough.
pre-pandemic, it was a completely different thing. I maybe did 2-3 cons the entire 18 years that we did Naruto.
Okay, yeah.
Because Miley went out a lot, and as far as like Naruto went, they would want Miley, but the secondary and third tier characters.
So maybe
and
like
stuff-
Melee and Yuri, maybe like those two, like Naruto and Sasuke.
that was probably it. And then if you could get Team 7, so the 4 of them, Dave Wittenberg, Kate Higgins,
Yeah.
Yuri Lowenthal, and Miley Flanagan, they sometimes would do an event or two, but for the most part, they were like the promoters weren't interested in like my level of character, the second or third tier. Now Kyle was doing cons because of all of his other shows and stuff that he was doing.
Yeah.
I have other shows too, but they're not like nobody cares.
Yeah, or like
people
you were like the
doing
main character,
nobody
so
cares.
it's like
But there's certain ones that the fans really gravitate to, and in this case, I'm thankful that I have one, which is Shikamaru.
I think your two characters
Really
touched a lot of people on this. I
big
think that's
So anyway, that was pre-pandemic. Didn't do a lot of cons and stuff. Then the pandemic hit, and I think everybody went and watched 980 episodes.
the benching start. Oh yeah.
And
then
no,
took
it's serious.
over.
Like all of a sudden, there came this interest in the show, and we did a couple of like online events. Kyle was part of that, as I recall.
Mhm.
And I remember I did a signing thing online, and I didn't have pictures. I mean, that's how out of it I was. I didn't have anything to sign.
Oh, I mean the picture you signed, they sent to the
Yeah,
fans, the
like,
different
you have to
characters.
get it
Okay,
printed
yeah,
out
okay,
and
yeah.
stuff. So Streamily had designed a couple things for me to sign, and then I was like, oh, that looks good, and that's what I used. But I really wasn't doing cons or anything. And then it just seems like there's been this huge appetite, and in the last 2 years, 2.5 years,
You've been into a lot.
we've been doing like one a month, which is
Yeah.
that's pretty much, I think pretty much like that, 12 a year, something like that. It's been crazy and incredible. I didn't think there was that much appetite for it, but every show I go to, people go crazy and they're like, "Oh, you're here!"
Yeah, but tell me, you guys have been voicing those characters since 2006. Like you got like me, but I'm one of those fans that I've been watching. I was 5 years old. I remember going on Teletoon at night. It was like 7:30 p.m. I live in Canada, but I remember watching Naruto for the first time. I was 5 years old. It first started in the US or Canada, and I started watching. I still watch to this day. I watch Boruto. I always go back and rewatch either Naruto or Shippuden or even Boruto. I played the games. I read the manga. Like I'm one of those people that people around my age, or even like newer fan, like they're like 10 years younger than me because I'm 22. And compared to 12, 11, like you said, pandemic, people were really starting like anime. Really, it was probably before the pandemic, but pandemic people didn't know what to do, and anime popped off. I mean, like really much. Like anime was talked so much more about. My girlfriend started watching anime. I didn't know at the time, but she started watching anime because of the pandemic. So she had nothing to watch. I think that really give people something to watch. And then Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Death Note, 70 Sins, all those big animes, like Demon Slayer is one of them. I knew that really pop out there in deep anime. Those big anime really started to pop out, and Naruto was one of them, of course. Because I think that we. Like we can simply say that Naruto is the most popular. I'm not saying the best because that's really an opinion, but like when it comes to most popular, I think it's Naruto and Dragon Ball. Those are the most known anime of all time.
It's one of the big three, right? Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto, and then you have Dragon Ball, which is like that. Somebody's written this all down. Like there's this whole evolution of but I want to say, as far as like the cons go and stuff too, there's the rise of Funko Pops. Like that played a huge part in like us going out and doing signings and stuff like that. Everything for me happened at the same time. I got my Funko Pop. The pandemic was letting up. The cons were starting up. people wanted to. We were doing a lot of online events, and everything just started clicking. And next thing you know, we're going out, at least once a month. Sometimes, my October, that I was only home one weekend out of October this year, but I also had not gone anywhere like in March. So it all works out. I did above 12 shows. So it's about one a month for me. I know Kyle goes out almost every weekend. I think he's got a different.
It feels like that. Yeah. Sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes three in a row.
Yeah. That's hard, but
Yeah.
but no, we've been having a heck of a lot of fun on the road, I gotta say. And I've hung out with these guys more than I've ever hung. Kyle and I went and had it was Kansas City. We had barbecue, or it was a nice dinner. We hung out and chatted, and that's really the fun of a lot of this stuff is as actors, we don't really, when you're an actor in a play, you guys go to the bar every night after rehearsal, and then once the show gets going, you'll go, have drinks or whatever. There's a community, there's a bond, like you did a show together. And we're getting that now. It's like reverse.
Years later,
years later, we're getting what it is to be part of a show, a company, a troupe of actors, which is the thing that we all kind of started with. And then we ended up going to these little dark rooms and recording our voices in little spaces where you throw it out into the universe. You have no idea if it's going to hit. I mean, most of the shows I've done, I have no idea if anybody watched it.
Except for Naruto, of course.
Yeah, except for Naruto. Yeah, that's what I said. Most of them, these things like Marmalade Boy or Busu Renkin, or these just weird titles of weird shows that we did. And then you go, people, are you Shikamaru? And you're like, what?
Yeah, of course. Who's the most fun person? And like I said, I think there's like 8 or 9 of you when you like most of those shows. Who's the most like fun of that group? Like when you do cons, like who's the most fun of the group?
We got a lot of clowns. You remember you're in a room full of people who are, extroverted. There's a myth about actors that we're all extroverted because we're mostly faking it. We're all introverts who have to be have an extroverted side to us. But that's where it all kind of comes together. I would say Brian Donovan is probably he's got a lot of energy. How about that? That's
when I interview him, I saw, like, of all people, this is my standard interview voice actors. The most was definitely Brian interview. He was really like energetic, just as a character. Like I would say, man, you and Rocky are the same. Like you're really like you're both very energetic. Honestly,
it's it's a really fun cast. Doug Erholtz is a lot of fun. Michael Yurchek is fun. I mean, just Michael, like guys you'd want to go have a beer with or go out to dinner. That kind of thing. Good conversation. I think we've got some really good people in our cast, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a lot of good people that could probably flourish as stand-up comedians.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you see Miley up on a stage?
Well, Miley and I used to do improv comedy together for many years.
Ooh,
so that was back in the early 90s. There is a group of voice actors that is doing improv, which I kind of wanted to sneak in just to see what are they doing. But I don't know. I haven't done it in so long. I'd be a little nervous.
No, I feel like mainly would be because she's also on what is it? She's Principal Perry on and on the Lab Rat. So
and Lab Rats, right? But
Lab
she's on a ABC show. Well, it'll be a while because of the strike, but not dead yet. I think that's the name of the show.
Yeah, the strike has ended, by the way. It's ended 2 days ago.
Yes, it has ended. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
finally,
they're way behind, is what I was trying to say.
Was voice actors included in the strike? I don't know. Like, was that also voice actors? Was
different
just,
contracts?
Different. Okay, so it's really contracts. Okay,
some of the voiceover stuff, I think, was part of like if you're doing theatrical voiceover for like a movie. Is that right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
TV and film.
Yeah, TV and film. Yeah. So, but it for some reason, if you're doing anime, it's the worst contract in SAG. I just gotta say, it is the absolute worst. But we weren't affected.
yeah, of course. Kyle, I want to ask you this. So you did the narrative voice earlier. Do you do that on your own in real life? Like, do you do like with your wife as a joke, or like do you use the narrative voice to scare people off? Like with me, like when scammers trying to call your phone, like do you like use that voice? Because it is a pretty deep, but do you use that voice like in every life, everyday situation?
No, there's other guys like John Bailey. He does epic voice guy.
Oh.
He'll do he's funny on YouTube videos. He's the kind of guy that very outgoing personality. I'm actually pretty introverted and shy. I feel like it would be a good video to be the DBZ narrator going through McDonald's and ordering and having the clerk actually be a Dragon Ball fan and watch them kind of freak out.
Yeah, those.
But I would feel bad because, of course, my luck, the dude's like, get out, loser. I hate that anime crap. It's like, oh man, I was just trying to. Oh,
because
it
took my girlfriend.
You got a 50-50 shot, even if you've got the fan, because they're gonna go. I only watch it in
I only watch it in the original Japanese.
Yeah.
You guys ruin it.
It took my girlfriend like months to realize that Naruto was voiced by a woman. It took her months. She never realized, and I told her, she's like, "Wait, really?" Yeah.
It's that way in Japan too.
Yeah, Japan. Yeah, most men. Luffy is voiced by a woman in English. Luffy is voiced by.
It's a long-standing tradition in Japanese anime.
Yeah,
it's a lot of it's in anime, but it's in original animation here in the United States as well. Young children, boys, are played by women.
Women, yeah.
They don't have to worry about getting them to school. They don't have to have a tutor on set.
Yeah,
they
true.
They can work more than 2 hours a day. Their voice is not going to change. And a lot of times, if it's a comedy or something, you can get away with murder in a comedy, as far as what a kid is supposed to sound like. If it's supposed to be a little bit more naturalistic, that's where you want it. They hire a lot of real kids. But if you'll notice, a lot of these Disney shows, Nickelodeon shows, they'll only run 2-3 seasons, and that's because all these little kids that they hired, their voices are going to change.
Yeah,
so
look at
puberty.
Look at the Simpsons, like Lisa and Bart from the Simpsons. They've been had a simple since. Well,
exactly. Both played by women, and that voice is consistent over what is it now? 35 seasons.
35 seasons. Yeah.
So that's exactly the point. It shouldn't be strange to anyone. Although, maybe there is something that we are losing a little bit of the magic of it just in general, because we're getting too behind the scenes. Like this is against my own personal interests because, they know who the voice actors are. They know. I love it that the fans have gone to the trouble of figuring out who we are and what we do, where we are on social media and stuff like that. However, it takes away a little bit of the magic for them, that, Bart Simpson isn't just Bart Simpson.
Yeah, multiple voices.
Right?
Yeah.
It's, or that the Shikamaru isn't just Shikamaru, it's Tom Gibis. You know what I mean? It's, you're attaching a name and then that name and that likeness that person can influence, because if I was a jerk, then obviously like Shikamaru as much, or the show as much, or
exactly. Yeah.
We've had a few voice actors that have gotten in a little trouble here and there, and it kind of, well, they have no problem replacing us. Let me just say one.
Yeah, I know. Very sad.
And too, it's it does make you feel differently about the product or what you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm sorry for forgetting his name, but I know the voice actor of Metal Lee, the son of Rock Lee, passed away. I think it was 2 years ago from the English dub of Boruto. There was of Metal Lee. I forgot the actor's name. I saw it on Twitter when it happened, but I know
we've had that too, where a couple of people have passed away along.
I think Iruzen. I think the original Iruzen that passed away too. They're like
original Kankuro.
Yes, passed away. That's true. Yeah. But like Iruzen, because I think like because I don't know if you I don't know if you know this, because I know like the original Naruto, it was somebody voiced the third Hokage, but I think they used one voice they changed, and I realized as soon as I hear it, Iruka is a different voice at the end of Naruto Shippuden than the start of Naruto. For not the English, the Japanese dub. Sorry,
Japanese.
Japanese dub. Because I watched both. I watched Japanese twice and English multiple times. But I was hearing, I was like, wait a minute, that's not. And I went back and started. I was like, that is not a different voice. Like, because the voice of Iruka is like, I know the voice very well. I was like, no, yeah, I forgot who voiced
Well,
Iruka in the
and
show.
then in some things like James Arnold Taylor, he
Amazing voice
plays
actor.
Obi-Wan in
Yes.
Star Wars Rebels because now Ewan McGregor, wasn't available to do it or wasn't interested in spending that much time doing it, and so he's
Yeah.
what they call a voice match.
Yeah.
So it happens all the time. And boy, if there's any industry, like I was saying before, where you think, oh, you're irreplaceable, forget it, because there's 1,000 guys in this industry that can do voice match that are excellent mimics and
Yeah.
just have the best ear for doing
Yeah.
impressions. And you can be replaced in 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle, I don't want to bring you down.
I think personally, that's just my personal opinion. My favorite voice from Naruto, and I cannot lie about this, is Neil Capley's Madara. I feel like that's like the
He's
most.
got that baritone.
He has that
voice.
very big voice. I respect to the Japanese voice actor, but I prefer the English Neil Capley Madara. Because of course, Jesus, I forgot his name. Who voiced Pain? I forgot who voiced Pain. Troy Baker, who voices Pain, and Yamato. He does both. Of course, the Almighty Push, of course, is But yeah, Madara's Wake Up to Reality speech, which is probably one of the most talking about Kyle, the Wake Up to Reality speech. He goes Wake Up to Reality.
He does it all the time. He did it at dinner, Kyle, when we were.
Oh, he did. Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, I think like
it's just it's just like my what a drag. His Wake Up to Reality.
Yeah, I think that the actual speech is such like a national sure it's into anime, but I think that speech is actually like most what a lot of people are going through in real life. That's what I'm trying to say. Like that speech is like this how the speech goes is like people go through that speech, the way that Malra explained it to Obito.
Yeah. Well, that's the beautiful thing about the show is that our villains aren't really villains; they're broken.
Exactly.
Heroes.
Well, Naruto changes them all the time.
you could tell the story from the other person's point of view, and you'd be like, yeah, those Leaf guys are awful.
Yeah, like Pain attacked a village because the village people kill his parents. Or Pain did that. Or Madara.
Itachi's probably one of the better examples of that too. That the entire series you think he's a bad guy, and then you find out what's really going on. And
he dies. Oh, that was. Can I safely say that I think Itachi is the best written character in Naruto? Is that safe to say? Because it's such like
mysterious show. I have people come up to me that go, you're my 4th favorite character in the show. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a good show. There's a lot
of good characters.
That's not an insult. That's it's such a good show.
Yeah, there's a lot of good characters.
Well written. People are talking about it 10 years after most of it has gone off the air. We're still doing Boruto, so it's not. But I'm not. I'm just saying the other stuff, the stuff that we've just been discussing has been off the air for quite a while.
Yeah, long. Yeah,
still talking about it, and people are going back and rewatching sections of it because it's so good.
It's meaningful to them. Yeah, I mean, like me personally, like the Shikamaru and his dad scene. Another one that I really like is the Rocket versus Gaara, which is one of my personal favorite fight in Naruto. When the Rocky fights Gaara during the training exam, I probably don't even mention that fight every day, but it's just one of those big fights. My favorite scene of the entire show of Naruto, and I think I've told you both, is Kakashi versus Obito. That entire fight with the music, the animation.
Obito's whole arc is so sad.
Yes, Michael Yurishak, amazing performance by Michael.
Yeah,
but he
did a great job with that.
Yeah, 100%.
And we had dinner with him in Kansas City too, Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
So we had the whole Akatsuki. Not but we had
bonding over barbecue. Yes.
Yeah, it is funny. We had Asuma, Madara, Obito, Shikamaru, and Kiba went out to dinner. It's almost like a joke.
Kyle, I have a quick question for you. My little brother is a big fan of the show. Well, actually, both of your characters. So for Tom, he's a big fan of Shikamaru, and Kyle, he's a big fan of Escanor. So my brother was wondering if you could give him a little message for him, whatever. So he wanted to have you to say in Escanor's big voice that it's an honor for him to watch the Seven Deadly Sins, and his name is Jeremy. So it's like, it was an honor, Jeremy, for you to watch Seven Deadly Sins in Escanor's voice.
Jeremy, I am very honored that you chose to watch Seven Deadly Sins. Who decided that?
Thank you. And Tom, it's gonna be for me personally, because if you can say for my brother, you can say, what a drag, Jeremy. Anthony is better looking than you.
Jeremy, it's such a drag that Anthony's so much better looking than you. Whatever.
see, now I can get it. I can get with that. You see, Shikamaru said it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He cannot complain about it.
Sibling rivalries are all such a drag.
Oh yeah, I mean, or your difference, and there's always been that that rivalry between me and brother. To be honest, we always had that your difference. It's when we were kids. As you get older, it gets better. But I think as kids, it's normal. Your siblings, whatever. It's always like fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
although
it's
my brother's 10 years older than I am. So I've never really had a fight with my brother. I can honestly say that. My sister and I, we fought like cats and dogs. But my brother, because he was 10 years older, it was him that taught me to throw a ball. He was my T-ball coach when I was, in third grade, stuff like that. It's like I always looked up to him. He rode a motorcycle. He was super cool. I was just the nerd.
Yeah. All right, Kyle.
But he was into comic books. We were both into comic books, so that's we have that in common.
That's one of my passions. Yeah. So, what do you think? And I asked you this about Kiba last time. I asked about adult Gohan. What do you think will be the perfect death for adult Gohan, if you would ever have to die?
The perfect death?
Yes, for adult Gohan.
Oh gosh. I don't know. I don't really have to worry because they'll just gather the 7 Dragon Balls and wish to Shenron to bring him back to life. They did it for Krillin, so
yeah, fair enough.
I don't really have to worry. I imagine just some massive ray beam from the next big baddie. Not Cell Max, but
yeah,
something that actually gives even
sacrifice in there too, to protect somebody else. Yeah,
Totally. He needs to have a noble sacrifice, not just one and done.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah. He has to have some epic speech that'll win him the anime Oscar or something.
Yes.
Now, talk about the Okage. I need to ask you this personally. Do you think that Kiba would be a good Okage? Or if not, what do you think he shouldn't be Okage if you think he won't? Or if you think he would, why do you think he would be a good Okage?
I think Kiba would be a good Hokage. I'm just going to say it. I know, it seems goofy, and he's got a good soul. He's got a good heart. He puts the village, first. So, we may make fun of it, or we might think I think a lot of the main characters could be great Hokage. They may not be the best, but they're going to do the best they can for the village. And I think in that regard, Kiba's one of those. He is part of the Hidden Leaf Village. He is definitely a team player in that regard.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? He's true blue. He's not gonna be corrupt. How's that?
No, he's loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might be goofy. I also think it's kind of an interesting idea, because you have Naruto running around saying, I'm going to be Hokage, I'm going to be Hokage, I'm going to be Hokage. And you've got Konohamaru is doing that as well. And Kiba does it in a show where, because you go, what do you take away from the show? Well, if you put your mind to it, anything can happen. Well, not for Kiba. So in a way there, you can say, I'm going to be an NBA player and I'm going to do everything I can, and I'm going to go out there and shoot baskets every day, but you may never become that NBA player, what I mean, professional. But you can have love of the game and you can be that thing. I think it's cool to have a character, and I hate that it's at your expense, Kyle. It's great that you can have a character. You can go, yeah, this guy wanted to be Hokage too. It doesn't happen to everybody. Naruto had to do that one more thing You know, whatever that was. He had to dig a little deeper. He had to be a little purer. He had to be a little, you know, he had a nine-tailed fox. I don't know how you compete with that. You know, it's so, you know, in that kind of a world, it might be fun to reward Kiba with a Hokage ship at some point.
Maybe the night, maybe.
But it's also a good lesson too. You don't always get what you want, you know.
Yeah,
and you
true. Yeah,
all your heart out at it and try and be that thing. That's a good lesson too. I mean, that's life.
Dude, that's the reason I like Naruto so much. I think a lot of fans do it. It's just like there's so many different characters with different mindset, with different, you know, storyline, with different, you know, personality. Like there's like I told Brian this, not Brian, yeah, Brian Donovan. There's a character for everybody to relate to in Naruto. I feel like there's literally, you know, the lazy character like yours. There's a hyper character like Rocky. You know, there's dark character like Sasuke. You know, in Pain. Like there's, you know, there's character like Lost Animals. Like Kiba. Like there's literally like in, you know, or Shino for his books. I don't know who relate to that, but you know, well, Shino people can, you know, there's a character for everyone to relate to in the show. That's the thing, the beauty of Naruto. There's every character is different. You know, sure, you know, Boruto and Naruto are a little, you know, alike, you know, ish. And of course, you know, you get Shimura and his dad, Kiba and his mom, you know, those are similar. But like when it comes to like the main characters, they're all different. Even like when you see like Hinata and Neji, sure, they're both Yugas, they're completely different characters. You know, like Hinata's, you know, Hinata's a little shy, you know, and then, you know, Neji is like the really confident
it's everybody
character
you ever went to high school with.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's what like Konoha 11 is probably that's what it is. Like everybody, like Naruto's a hyper, you know, a hyper kid that I always failed. That was it's keep me in school, you know. That's why I can always relate to Naruto.
And they also explore like, you know, Naruto is an orphan.
Yeah,
Sasuke
true.
is an orphan, but then Shikamaru has two parents that love him. But they all have different relations, and they have problems with those relationships.
Yeah,
they have successes. Like in a way, the Sakura keeps putting her foot in her mouth all the time. Like, you know, well, he's an orphan. He doesn't know. You know, it's like saying that to Sasuke. It's like, well, Sasuke's an orphan too. You know,
Sasuke had his parent, but he took it away from a certain age. I know that you both did a movie, which is my favorite Naruto movie, Road to Ninja, number 6 of Naruto. You were both in it. When
I couldn't tell you the difference between the movies. To tell you the truth. I know I wasn't in the first one, and I did the second one, but
that movie was the one that when Toby went on Konoha and like everything was straight, like Kiba hated dog, Shikamaru was
everything was upside down.
Everything upside down. Kiba bites your ass very, very, very hard in the one they're seeing, and Shikamaru is a perf in that movie for some reason. You know
what?
Yeah, he's like.
This is maybe why I don't recall it.
He's like, you see, like
you erased it from your memory,
and he's dumb. Like in the show, he's very smart,
he's dumb,
and he's very dumb. Like the scene that he like jumps in a big bathtub, and it's just like, but
that was at the bathhouse thing.
The bathhouse scene,
I do remember that.
Yeah, and then you like cats for whatever reasons. You hate dogs in that movie. I think that was such like a great again the movie, which is not canon. They're all failure except for like the Boruto movie. But I think that was a great idea. Was it Meili? Not Meili. Was it Mary Elizabeth that directed that movie? Do you guys remember if it was her?
Mary Elizabeth? Yeah, I think she did.
Probably. It depends on what year it was.
Okay, I think the movie came out 2012.
Because she went off to do Star Wars Rebels at a certain point.
The movie came out 2012.
But I would say she did.
This was before that, and we had a theatrical screening, and we all actually went. I think that's the one we saw.
It was released in theaters. It was 2012, 2013. The movie released. I think it was 2013.
Oh,
I think. Yeah,
I don't recall going to a movie premiere.
Maybe you couldn't make it.
Yeah,
not everyone came, but
exactly.
That's probably a really good movie, and I love their story. And like, cause you know, in that movie, Naruto's parents are alive, but Sakura's parents are dead. You know, and Sakura realizes what it is to lose their parents because you know, Naruto and Kushina are there. I really love Tony Oliver who does Minato in the show. I personally prefer the English. A lot of characters, like your two characters, I prefer the English over the Japanese. To be completely honest, I think everybody interviews if it's Brian or.
Preference. I mean, I think the Japanese actors are phenomenal.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I don't speak Japanese, but you know, you can tell. Like, and I don't get on anybody if they like it one way or the other. Hey, I'm like, let your freak flag fly. What I don't like is people criticize criticizing something that you like because you like it. You should
Yeah,
be able to allowed to
yeah.
like something the
Yeah.
way you want to consume it. I'm all for it. And if you want to watch it in Japanese, fantastic. But I still think we can talk because I know a little
Yeah.
bit about the character. We can
Yeah.
still have a conversation. We don't
Yeah.
have to, that doesn't have to shut down conversation just because we'd like to consume this media in a different way. Some people like to read the manga and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, manga is, I guess, a little short because you don't have all the fillers and everything in the manga. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah, I guess I'm not appreciating the, you know, superior attitude of people
No.
Yeah.
that have to, you know, they're purists of something, because honestly, you're never going to get there unless you're Japanese and live in Japan and
Yeah.
read Japanese. That's the audience it was intended for. Otherwise, you're just reading animation.
Yeah.
They don't
I
put
usually-
subtitles in Japanese.
I usually
Yeah.
bring up a point that if this person might hate dubs, I said, look at you. If you created an anime or a manga and you have a chance for it to have global distribution, wouldn't you want it to air in the States? If you were Japanese,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you want it to be as mainstream as possible. Understand that the English audience, they don't like to read subtitles as a mainstream thing.
Yeah.
Sure, anime fans as a niche world, yeah, the majority, whatever. But most people in North America don't like reading subs.
Yeah.
And it's not saying it's bad, it's just a
And in a
preference.
way, right. And in a way, they're consuming it the same way the Japanese do. They're watching it and listening to it and taking it all in.
Yeah. It's
That's
just different
what a
language.
That's what a Japanese speaker would get.
Yeah.
I mean, you've created a whole little shift where you have to actually read the bottom of the screen, you know,
Yeah.
while it's going on.
Because I'm gonna say this, I don't want to fight between English and Japanese, but one voice I can surely say that English is better than Japanese, and nobody can tell me otherwise ever. It's Sean Chamel, voice of Goku. I don't care. People say I respect the Japanese voice of Goku, but Sean's English voice of Goku for me is one of the best English dub of all time. Like the way he voices Goku is just phenomenal. Honestly, like and he screamed to like I remember him like doing like Nitsui Sen like he most of the time, and you might happen to you, because I know you're kind of screaming a lot too. That you finish a sentence recording and you have no voice because you scream so much in that show. Like there's a lot of you know, screaming, and I really do the interview. It's like, yeah, I lost my voice multiple times going off the boob because I scream a lot. And like the powerful of Sean's voice, for me personally, I know that will always be my opinion. I think English Goku is better than Japanese. I respect again to the Japanese Goku, but Sean's English version of Goku is just like phenomenal in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, you know, if these studios and these clients, these creators from Japan, and they're greenlighting us getting hired,
Yeah,
you know, we do the job that we're directed to do, that's a win. And of course, opinions are completely subjective. And, you know, if you hate my performance, it's okay because I did what was asked of me and I got paid for it. The check cleared. So you go on your merry way and troll somebody else.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is you don't need to give your opinion on everything you don't like.
Yeah,
You know, go give your opinion on all the things you do like, and then just swipe to the left or whatever it is, or down. If we come on and we offend you, just feel free to swipe. Just go to the next thing that you do like.
fair enough.
Roll on. You know, don't feel like you need to put your 2 cents in there. You know, you don't need to. So, but it's a thing about anything you're passionate about, whether you're into cars or you're into, you know, movies, or you're into, there's a certain crowd that always likes to say, well, you know, the 1963 Ford Fairline was the best, you know, and if by changing the tires on that, you've destroyed the look of the, you know, like it's a thing about, and it's not just nerds, it's a human nature thing. We tend to, the thing we like, we want to be the expert, you know, and and then there are people that are experts, and then of course, you know, all I'm saying is let's try and be positive.
Yeah, just
love
exactly,
what you love, support what your friends love.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Look, like if they love something, go, hey, that's interesting. Tell me more about that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to going, really? You drive an electric car?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You drive a gasoline car? Oh my. You know, or whatever it is, you know. I'm sure cross stitch and needlework people are going, oh, I'm not a big fan of the over under. I want
Yeah.
the up, then the under over. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not quilting.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite stories that I heard is Michael Yoshai usually did Toby for whatever how many years, and the fact that he got Obito was completely random because he was finishing his last day for Toby, the silly Toby, and then I don't know who's directing that day, but he went in the booth and he just asked for fun of it. He was doing the Obito voice. He looked at the Japanese because they're about to choose an actor, and then he started doing the Obito voice, and then the voice actor said, can you keep that voice? He's like, yeah, I can. And he did some take and he sent it to Japan. Japan said, all right, we'll take him as Obito. So the fact that he got Obito and expanded his live on the show for like 3-4 years when for the war, I think that's just like, again, it was so random. It's on the spot. Like, hey, we'll send it to Japan, see what they did thing, and then they said, all right. And then Michael kept and then did Obito, of course, which I think again was a good joke. So Obito and again was such a.
I think what's interesting about that story is that they hadn't even considered, because Toby and Obito, it's an extension of
completely different. Yeah, completely
but
different. Yeah,
it's the underlying character that they didn't even think of having Michael at least audition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like you would never guess that those two have the same voice. That you never like. They're like, I know, like what's his name?
That does happen a little bit in this industry. In that,
yeah, I know Steve Bloom does Zabuza and Orochimaru. I know Ino.
I guess what I'm trying to say is they see you as one thing, right?
Okay,
so I have a high tenor voice, and they see you as kind of one thing, and they never ask to go like, well, can you try and do something else or do a different voice?
Oh, okay.
They tend to pigeonhole you as, this is my guy for this is my guy for that, or even like to say, take a run at like a Madara, but why does Madara have to have a deep, voice? Like maybe they could try a high voice, or for all the creativeness in Hollywood, sometimes they're not very creative in that they will kind of pigeonhole. In our regard, they've already done it in Japanese. So you're trying to at least get into the area of what they did in Japan. You're trying to get into that zone. So you're trying to find a similar voice in that regard. But why not? Why not at least give them an audition,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because your two characters, they sound similar in Japanese and English. Especially Shikamaru is, that has, because I forgot when last time for you there was a woman with me, and she said, like your voice, matches the character. I think you too. I think like your voice, like because I think like Adult Gohan is mostly your natural voice, right? You're not like forcing too much, right? It's more like, I know the narrator, you're like, you're going, but like I think Adult Gohan is mostly your voice, right? It's
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, the same for Tom with Shikamaru, or you with Kiba. Tonight, I think your voice would all go on really well, and I think your voice of Shikamaru fits the character very well. The same can you see for Kiba, or I know Escanor, you're a little deeper, but I think your voice is
that. I think part of that is the performances that we've done. You now relate to that as what the character is.
Yeah,
but it was not set like that in the beginning. I'm sure there were people that were like, I don't know if that's the voice we want. And then I also think if you're going to do a voice for as long as like Kyle and I have done the same voices, whether it be in Dragon Ball or Shikamaru or Kiba, it's got to be somewhere close to your own voice if you're going to do it for 18 years. If you're gonna do, you can do something. It either has to be way off from your real voice. It has to be like in outer space. I go voice like this. I go talk like crazy guy. Like it's got to be that different. Or otherwise, it's got to be kind of within your sort of the realm of what you can do. Because you're doing it for such a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
You either start incorporating that voice into your own natural speaking voice, or your natural speaking voice is that thing a little bit. You're pretty much in there.
Yeah, because like your natural voice is basically like almost like identical to what you do for Shimmer. Like literally is. When I hear you talk, I hear Shikamaru. Honestly,
Yeah, but it's funny because yes, there's a lot of that in there. But then when I drop into it, whatever, what a drag. Yeah. It is a little different. It's a lot different, I think.
Yeah.
But it's also like you go, oh, that's it. Like you kind of hear it in my voice. But then when I drop in, it's like, oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
And especially when I get tired, my voice turns into Shikamaru.
Yeah, you're like in bed, like yeah.
Really close is kind of a whispery voice, and that I can do. I can do when I've got the flu. I can do it when because it's just there. I think when I get sick though, the nasal doesn't help. But basically, if I was screaming the night before, I can do Shikamaru.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. One more question before we go. For everybody watching this on TikTok and on YouTube and Spotify, do you both have a message for all the fans that have been listening for years? And at the same time, if you have anything upcoming, you know, it was an anime or anything, video games, whatever you want maybe to promote or tell people to check out, you can both say that if you want to.
Okay. I wanted to promote the latest WarioWare game, Move It. You can hear me as Dribble, Dr. Crygor, and Mr. Sunshine. Otherwise, I really can't talk. I'm sure Tom understands that the VO NDA situation, until it comes out, we can't talk about it. But I'm pretty sure we're both steadily working on projects, and we'll have some things that we can announce in the near future. How about you, Tom?
I don't think it's any secret. I think it comes out next week. Naruto Storm, right?
Some connection is right. I'm so
it comes
excited
out
for
next week. So
the 16. Yeah, it's 4 days.
Then that.
Yeah.
Yes, then that.
But
We're
I don't
back as
think
our characters.
that's not a secret. I don't think
Yeah.
No, yeah. You obviously got to be voicing your characters, obviously there. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really good game from the work that we did on it. Just because it's going to cover the whole
all of Naruto. Yeah, that's why I like it. It's like from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden and even parts of Boruto. That's what I like about. And there's a filler Boruto episode apparently for the story monitor, which
just to make it really authentic.
I'm excited to play. I'm very excited to play that. I pre-ordered the game. It's coming out in 4 days on the 16th. I'm super excited to play that game because I play all the Storm games. I play most of the Naruto games, all the drinkable games too. I play most of them. Especially fighters, which is really rage worthy, but it's I can totally fighting. What about you, Kyle? Do you we'll start with real quick.
I kind of jumped in there on the video game, but I'll just say I'm done for the year as far as cons go. There might be a couple of things. Sometimes LA Comic-Con calls me at the last minute, like they did last year, but we'll see what happens with that. I won't hold my breath. And then I'm doing in January, I think I'm doing Seattle, and then February I'm going to Hawaii for Aloha Con. So that will be fun. Anybody want to go have a reason to go to Hawaii to to go to a con? This would be the one. And Miley's going to be there as well with me.
That's cool.
And then that's all I can
next
talk about with that stuff. And then at the Real Time Gibis on TikTok and on Instagram. Please.
Yeah, all your links will be in the description for you both.
Really appreciate it.
Your TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, I'll be at Missouri Anime Festival next weekend, and for any con updates, just follow me on Twitter at Kyle Hebert. I will not call it X. KyleHebert.com. And yes, click on the link, kids. Like, follow, subscribe.
I don't think nobody will ever call this X. It was as much as I love Elon Musk, like it was such a stupid idea. After 15, 16 years of Twitter, literally into X,
Thank you for listening. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe, and then apologize to me that you were born into my world.